Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master everyone to another exciting journey into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, where ordinary-looking pocket change can sometimes hold extraordinary stories and unimaginable value. Today, we are diving deep into the history, mystery, and market intrigue of the 1974 D1 dime from the United States, a coin that might seem like just another piece of everyday currency at first glance, but in reality, has a potential value soaring to an astonishing $21 million. The idea that a single 10-cent coin could be worth such a fortune might sound unbelievable, but as you'll soon discover, it's the rare combination of minting errors, unusual anomalies, and historical circumstances that transform certain examples of this coin into treasures of numismatic history. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector, a curious history buff, or simply someone who enjoys the thrill of a good mystery, this is going to be a deep dive worth every minute. The 1974 D-dime hails from the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities of the United States Mint that has been responsible for producing billions of coins over the decades. Most coins that roll off its presses are perfectly ordinary, created according to strict specifications and quality control standards. But every so often, errors slip through, subtle mistakes or striking anomalies that escape the eyes of inspectors and find their way into circulation. These mint errors can be incredibly valuable to collectors, especially when they are rare, dramatic, or historically significant. In the case of the 1974 D-dime, several different types of errors have been documented over the years, ranging from double dies and off-center strikes to planchet errors and even unusual mint mark placements. To understand why this dime can be worth millions in certain conditions, it's important to first appreciate the context of coin production in the early 1970s. The United States Mint was transitioning in terms of technology, with both traditional methods and more modern machinery in use. This period was also marked by high production demands, as the U.S. economy required vast quantities of circulating coins. Under such pressure, the Denver Mint had to produce massive numbers of dimes in 1974, tens of millions of them. While most came out flawless, a handful emerged with remarkable deviations from the norm. These are the coins that spark intense bidding wars among collectors when they surface. One of the most famous categories of valuable mint errors involves the doubling of design elements, known as double dies. A double die error occurs when the coin's die, the engraved metal stamp used to impress the design on a blank planchet, receives more than one misaligned impression from the master hub. This can cause the details on the coin to appear doubled, and on a small denomination like the dime, such doubling might be visible in the inscriptions like Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself. On the 1974 D-dime, an exceptionally sharp and dramatic double die could elevate the coin's value into astronomical territory, particularly if it is in pristine condition and has clear, bold doubling that is easily visible without magnification. Another important factor in determining the potential value of the 1974 D-dime lies in mint mark anomalies. The D's mint mark signifies that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, but occasionally, mint marks were punched into the dies by hand during this era. This process could lead to variations, such as a misplaced D, a repunched mint mark where the letter appears twice due to misalignment, or even a missing mint mark entirely if it was accidentally omitted. Coins with such irregularities are often rarer than their standard counterparts, and in certain high-grade conditions, collectors are willing to pay staggering sums for them. The story of the 1974 D-dime's extreme potential value also includes errors related to planchets, the blank metal discs that become coins. A wrong planchet error occurs when a blank intended for another denomination is accidentally fed into the coining press. Imagine a dime struck on a copper penny planchet, or on a planchet intended for a foreign coin. These unusual pieces can be striking to see and immensely desirable. In some cases, such errors are so rare that only one or two examples are known to exist. If such a unique wrong planchet 1974 D-dime were discovered in flawless or near-flawless condition, its rarity could drive its market value into multi-million-dollar territory. Off-center strikes are another fascinating mint error that can greatly influence value. When a coin is struck off-center, part of its design is missing, and the blank area of the planchet is exposed. Slight off-center strikes might not command much attention, but dramatic ones, say, where 50% or more of the design is missing, can become standout collectibles, especially if the date and mint mark remain fully visible. For the 1974 D-dime, an extreme off-center strike combined with other factors like high grade or unusual metal composition could be an irresistible prize for high-end collectors. Condition plays a critical role in the potential value of any coin, and the 1974 D-dime is no exception. In the world of coin collecting, condition is graded on a scale from poor to perfect, with the highest grade being mint state 70 MS70. Coins that have been preserved without any wear, with their original mint luster intact, command far higher prices than those that have seen circulation. A rare era dime from 1974 D in MS68 or MS69 could easily fetch tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if it's a truly unique piece with dramatic errors, its value could leap into the millions. Combine this with intense competition among wealthy collectors and investors, and you have a recipe for jaw-dropping auction results. It's worth noting that the most famous and valuable coins are often those with a combination of multiple rare traits, what collectors sometimes call a perfect storm of desirability. Imagine a 1974 D-dime that is not only a double die but also struck on a wrong planchet and in gem uncirculated condition. Such a coin would be incredibly rare, perhaps unique, and could ignite bidding wars that push the final sale price into record-breaking territory. This is why stories of multi-million-dollar valuations for certain examples are not mere fantasy but grounded in the realities of numismatic history. Throughout the decades, coin collectors and treasure hunters have searched for these elusive 1974 D-dimes, checking pocket change, rolls from the bank, and even old coin jars tucked away in attics. While most finds are ordinary, every once in a while, a discovery makes headlines. Coins with extraordinary errors, unusual provenance, or exceptionally high grades have surfaced unexpectedly, often in the hands of people who had no idea of their worth. The thrill of such discoveries fuels the hobby and keeps the market for rare coins vibrant. The market value of rare coins like the 1974 D-dime is influenced not only by rarity and condition but also by broader trends in numismatics. In times of economic uncertainty, tangible assets like rare coins often become more appealing to investors, leading to heightened demand and higher prices. Furthermore, as coin collecting becomes more popular globally, the pool of potential buyers expands, increasing competition for the rarest and most desirable pieces. The 1974 D-dime story is also a reminder of the importance of authentication and certification in the coin world. Professional grading services examine coins under high magnification, verify their authenticity, and assign them a grade based on their condition. They also attribute specific errors, which can significantly enhance a coin's market appeal. A certified 1974 D-dime with a dramatic error and top-tier grade can confidently enter high-stakes auctions, where deep-pocketed bidders vie for ownership. In many ways, coins like the 1974 D-dime serve as time capsules, preserving a small piece of history in metal form. Each one tells a story, not only of the year it was minted but also of the intricate and sometimes unpredictable process of coin production. The errors that make these coins valuable are, in essence, human or mechanical quirks frozen in time, reminders that even in highly controlled environments, perfection is not always achieved. When we talk about a $21 million valuation, we're talking about a perfect convergence of rarity, condition, and collector demand. While not every 1974 D-dime is worth such a sum, in fact, most are worth only their face value, it's the extraordinary few that capture the imagination. For some collectors, owning such a coin is about more than investment, it's about holding a tangible piece of history, a connection to the minting process, and a symbol of the unpredictable nature of rarity. Over the years, stories have circulated about legendary examples of the 1974 D-dime that have changed hands privately for sums that rival fine art sales. In such transactions, confidentiality is key, but whispers of record-breaking prices often find their way into collector circles. These tales only add to the mystique of the coin, inspiring more enthusiasts to search for their own hidden treasure. The pursuit of the 1974 D-dime worth millions is as much about the journey as it is about the destination. Collectors meticulously study minting processes, learn to recognize subtle varieties, and hunt through thousands of coins in hopes of finding that one extraordinary piece. This dedication has built a vibrant community where knowledge is shared, discoveries are celebrated, and the love of coins unites people across generations and continents. And so, the legend of the 1974 D1 dime continues to grow. From the bustling production lines of the Denver Mint in the 1970s to the high Today we're going to take you on a fascinating and eye-opening journey into the world of rare coins, where a single small piece of metal can hold a value so extraordinary that it leaves collectors, investors, and historians in awe. We're talking about the 1977 one-dime coin from the United States, a coin that normally would be worth only 10 cents in everyday transactions, but in certain rare and specific cases, has been valued at an astonishing $19 million. Yes, you heard that right, a 10-cent coin worth $19 million, all because of a combination of rare minting errors, unusual production anomalies, and other fascinating quirks that make it incredibly desirable to serious collectors. This is not just a story about a coin, it's a story about history, craftsmanship, accidents that became treasures, and the passionate world of numismatics where rarity and condition can turn pocket change into a life-changing fortune. To truly appreciate why this particular 1977 dime could command such an astronomical value, we need to start by understanding the context of coin production in the United States during that era. The year 1977 was part of a period in U.S. mint history where coin production technology had improved considerably compared to earlier decades, but was still far from perfect. Coins were being struck in huge numbers to meet the demands of a growing economy, and while the mints in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco had high standards, the reality of mass production meant that mistakes inevitably happened. And in the rare instances where those mistakes escaped detection and made it into circulation, they became treasures for those lucky enough to find them. The 1977 dime was no exception. The regular 1977 Roosevelt dime was composed of a copper-nickel-clad combination over a pure copper core, with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a weight of 2.268 grams. It featured the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse side, designed by John R. Sinek, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, the date, and, if applicable, a mint mark indicating where it was struck. The reverse depicted an olive branch, a torch, and an oak branch, symbolizing peace, liberty, and strength. In normal circumstances, these coins are extremely common and worth only their face value. However, as collectors know, it's the rare deviations from the norm that turn ordinary coins into extraordinary ones. One of the main reasons a 1977 dime could reach a value of $19 million is the presence of highly unusual minting errors. These errors come in many varieties, from double strikes to off-center strikes, from planchet composition mistakes to missing elements, and even to extremely rare die misalignments or overstrikes. For example, a 1977 dime struck on a planchet intended for a completely different denomination, like a quarter or a foreign coin, would already be incredibly rare. If such an error also displayed exceptional eye appeal and was in pristine uncirculated condition, the value could climb dramatically. And in the world of ultra-high-end numismatics, where elite collectors compete fiercely for one-of-a-kind pieces, the price can reach the millions. Another fascinating category of error involves the mint mark. In 1977, the Denver Mint used the D Mint mark and the San Francisco Mint used the S Mint mark, while the Philadelphia Mint coins carried no mint mark. Errors related to mint marks could include missing mint marks, misplaced mint marks, or even doubled mint marks. A missing mint mark can be especially significant if it occurred in a year when all coins of a certain type from a certain mint should have had one. If a 1977 dime, for example, was supposed to have a D mint mark but was struck without one due to a die preparation oversight, and if that coin somehow escaped into circulation, it would immediately attract intense interest from collectors. Combine that with pristine condition, and you have the ingredients for a record-breaking sale. Beyond mint mark errors, there are the dramatic visual errors that make certain coins instantly recognizable and highly desirable. These can include dramatic off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, broad strikes where the coin is stretched beyond normal dimensions, or double denomination errors where the coin shows elements of two different coin designs because it was struck on a previously struck coin of another denomination. A 1977 dime that, for example, was struck over a 1977 quarter could be so visually striking and unique that collectors would be willing to pay an enormous sum for it, but errors alone are not enough to justify a $19 million price tag. Condition is just as critical. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to perfect, with mint state 70 being the absolute top. A rare error coin in worn condition might still be valuable, but the same error in flawless, freshly struck condition could be worth exponentially more. This is because high-end collectors often seek not just rarity, but perfection. A one-of-a-kind error coin that is also in perfect condition becomes the holy grail for some collectors. Provenance can also play a role. If a specific 1977 dime has a documented history of ownership by famous collectors or was part of a legendary collection, that historical pedigree can increase its desirability and value. Coins with well-documented stories often fetch higher prices because they offer more than just physical rarity. They offer a tangible link to history and a sense of narrative that appeals to collectors. It's also important to understand that coin values at the ultra-rare level are not set in stone. They are determined by what a willing buyer is prepared to pay at a given moment. In some cases, a bidding war between two or more determined collectors can drive the price far beyond what anyone might have predicted. That's how a coin like the 1977 dime could theoretically sell for $19 million if it is unique, has spectacular visual appeal, is in perfect condition, and is desired by more than one deep-pocketed buyer. The world of numismatics is filled with fascinating examples of coins that achieved legendary status because of their rarity and condition. The 1977 dime's potential to reach such a staggering value is a reminder that extraordinary treasures can sometimes hide in plain sight. Imagine finding such a coin in your change. Most people wouldn't even look twice at a dime, but the trained eye of a collector would know instantly if something was unusual about it. We must also talk about the possibility of transitional errors. These occur when a coin is struck using materials intended for a different year's design or composition. In certain cases, leftover planchets from the previous year were accidentally used for the new year's coins. If, for example, a 1976 silver-clad planchet from the bicentennial coinage period somehow ended up being used for a 1977 dime, it would create a transitional error coin of immense rarity. Because silver coins were no longer being made for circulation by that time, such a piece would be an incredible anomaly. Another element that could contribute to the coin's value is strike quality. Even without dramatic errors, a coin with an exceptionally sharp strike, full details, and beautiful toning can be highly sought after. Natural toning occurs over decades as the coin's surface reacts with the environment, creating unique colors and patterns that can make the coin visually stunning. Collectors often pay premiums for coins with exceptional eye appeal, and when this is combined with rarity, the value can soar. The 1977 dime also exists in proof version struck at the San Francisco Mint, intended for collectors rather than circulation. These proofs were made with specially polished dies and planchets to create mirror-like surfaces and frosted design elements. While most proof coins are not rare, an error in the proof production process, such as a wrong planchet, a double strike, or a missing element, can produce a coin of exceptional rarity. A proof 1977 dime with a dramatic and unique error could easily capture the attention of the world's most serious collectors. The psychology of collecting plays a big role in the high valuations of such coins. For some collectors, owning the rarest or most unusual example of a given coin series is a lifelong pursuit. When such an opportunity arises, they may be willing to pay extraordinary sums to secure the prize, especially if they believe it's unlikely another opportunity will ever come again. This sense of competition, combined with the prestige of ownership, is a major driver of record prices. In addition, coins like the 1977 dime carry with them a tangible connection to the time and place they were made. The year 1977 was a period of economic challenges, cultural shifts, and significant events in the United States. Holding a coin from that year, especially one with a unique story, can feel like holding a small piece of history. This emotional connection can make such coins even more appealing to collectors and investors. The possibility of counterfeits is another aspect worth noting. With such high potential values, rare coins often attract counterfeiters who try to replicate minting errors. However, professional authentication by reputable grading services ensures that serious buyers can trust what they're getting. A genuine 1977 dime with a one-of-a-kind error, authenticated and graded at the highest level, would be virtually guaranteed to generate intense interest at auction. Now imagine the scenario that leads to a $19 million sale. The coin is discovered, authenticated, graded mint state 70, confirmed to have a dramatic, unique, and visually stunning minting error, perhaps combined with an unusual composition or a missing mint mark. Word spreads through the collecting commune,